Welcome back to the Iconist, the most established news and information channel for the Icon Republic. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It really does help. And if you find this content valuable, why not share it with a friend? So today, we're very happy to be joined by Icon Foundation founder, Min Kim, for an interview which will be presented in two parts. So if you're watching one part, make sure to look out for the other, which will be linked in the description below. So without more ado, we'll head straight into our interview with Min Kim.
So thanks very much for joining us today, Min. It's great to see you again. I think it's been about a year actually since we've had an interview like this. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks. Good to see you as always. Yeah, it's been a few months now already. I mean, time flies. So
I think it's just about a year. Yeah.
It's been a year already?
I think It's been just about a year. I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, we'll just dive straight in. So I think it's fair to say that two of the major focuses probably for this year, up until this point and also going forward, are Icon Bridge, and then also BTP in the hopefully near future. So starting off with Bridge, could you explain briefly kind of what the current status is with Bridge? We obviously know that it was field tested during the pre-sale for Wonder Game, and where users could obviously mint NFTs on Harmony using Icon's bridging solution. Can you just give us a quick update on where Bridge is at the moment?
Right. So a lot of testing is currently happening, and the front end is being updated. We're constantly giving some feedback, but I mean, obviously, we're talking about a very raw, unpolished beta product, so we don't want to go out there with a full swing and open ourselves to any exploits. So we're being very, very extra careful, especially in today's day and age, where a lot of exploits are happening. And yeah, we are going through the process step by step of integrating Harmony. I think a lot of people, as you just mentioned, have experienced minting, cross-chain minting with Wonder Game, which was pretty awesome. So that was a very small taste and of what is to come. But there will be a Nexus portal, which is going to have a couple of chains where you'll be able to send and receive assets through that portal. And that is exactly what the team is testing at the moment. And obviously, this is a very, very, what we're doing is very new, and all the third parties and developer teams that we are working with, from the Icon side, from Harmony side, from BSC side, from Near side, it's all learn as you go type of a deal. And there comes time where there are roadblocks, obviously problems to resolve, and I mean we're going through those steps. And once you go through those small revisions and tests, you have to test everything from the very beginning, right? So I think that's where a lot of the where we're being extra careful, like just a small fix could have large unintended consequences. And we do all the tests, and we find one area that needs a bit of tweaking, and once you figure out how to tweak that, you have to start the testing all over again from the very beginning.
Right, right. So essentially, what's going on in the background?
A lot of work going on in the background, and we're all obviously very excited to get this out there in the hands of users. I'm very excited to be able to use this. Our partners are very excited to take a look at this. So we're all excited, and we're kind of taking it day by day. We push the Harmony launch a bit because of the situation that the Harmony blockchain is currently
Right.
facing with the hack. So that was just unfortunate timing, and just maybe it was unfortunate, but at the same time, it is fortunate that such events happened early on, so that
I guess
we
something of
didn't
a
have to.
wake-up call allows you to plan for
Right.
possible things like this in the future as well. Yeah.
Right. And then, that makes you think about like more proactive measures and security risks that we need to think about when such type of events happen. So, on the development side is one thing, things are continually getting developed, but on the other side, we are coming up with both proactive and reactive protocols so that we can minimize any type of risk that that we face or we might face in the future.
Yeah. We don't need to talk at length about it, but I'm sure people will be wondering if the Harmony hack did impact people who minted NFTs using Icon's bridging solution, or if there was any impact to Icon on with that hack.
No, not directly, obviously, but the Ibris team or the Wonder Game team is thinking about migrating their project to a different chain.
That's right.
I think it was Polygon.
Yeah.
So, I don't make those type of decisions, or I don't even, have any input in those type of decisions. But from what I see, is this a risk that kind of the newer projects are afraid to take at the moment. So, we're hoping that this situation unravels smoothly, and hopefully the Harmony team and the Harmony project comes out, with minimal damage. So hopefully we're praying for the best here.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, Icon's bridging solution wasn't affected in any way, wasn't breached itself, I guess is
right.
the main point. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right.
So beyond the use case with Harmony, are there other current use cases of Icon's bridging solution, or are there any others planned kind of for launch in the near future?
Sure. I mean, obviously the applications on Icon are very eager to start using the bridge product. So those are the immediate no-brainer use cases of bringing assets from other chains to Icon. But it's not just that. I mean, these applications, and I believe you've already kind of spoken to Scott. I mean, a lot of these application on Icon is also planning to utilize the Icon bridge to the max, meaning that they will be integrating other chains into the application so that they will be more, I guess, chain agnostic as well. Just like how we position ourselves, or how we see the Icon blockchain itself as chain agnostic.
Yeah.
We're a blockchain that we're trying to become optimized for interoperability. So that is sort of the plan.
Mm-hmm. Kind of moving from Bridge over to BTP a little bit. According to the most recent development roadmap that we saw, there were some issues. As you mentioned, there's always going to be issues with brand new technology, but there were some issues that popped up with the near integration. And according to the development roadmap, those issues will be ironed out with BTP 2.0. And just for clarification, does that mean that that Bridge is BTP 1.0? Just a kind of small technical question there.
Right. I mean, this is all just words and naming convention to help community better understand what these products are. So we try to categorize it to make it easier for the community. And you know, you could call it BTP 1.0, you could call it BTP 2.0, but you know, what we see, or the ultimate kind of goal that we are trying to hit this year, is BTP 2.0. That is a fully decentralized version of the bridge, and we think that makes the verifier contract on Icon is what makes the BTP unique. There's a lot of bridges out there, and Icon bridge is not honestly that different. It's sort of the first step to get there. But what makes our technology unique is the architecture behind the BMV, or the message verifier, and also some of the token economics behind the BTP system. So yeah, I mean, we're obviously again, these are just naming conventions. I think everyone should just focus on, think of Icon Bridge or what's upcoming as a testing phase, a beta product. It's going to be very raw. It's not going to have too much designs, or we're not going to try to make it playful. We're just going to stick to the core features and be able to just send and receive tokens from different chains. And we're going to try to limit those. We're going to try to audit these contracts as much as possible, and try to make it a very safe experience for our users. And then slowly we're going to be rolling out, adding more things to the product itself, so that we want to make it more and more exciting as we move forward.
Sure. So as you mentioned, there are other bridging solutions out there. And in our chat with Scott a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that security is perhaps the number one, or certainly one of the most important kind of features of Icon's bridging solution, and in the future BTP as well.
Right.
Now, developers are going to be looking at these different bridging solutions, and obviously making decisions about where they want to put their focus, where they want to build their applications, their use cases, etc. So kind of in your own words, what would you say are the three main reasons why developers should consider Icon's bridging solution? And I guess you can see this as kind of your pitch to developers.
I mean, I think security is the number one reason, and I don't think a lot of people have figured out the most secure way. I mean, there's a general consensus in the industry that the light client and relay node method is the most secure way to bridge assets. So we feel that we have figured out a way to lower transaction fees and being able to do everything through smart contracts. So I think we have a very powerful value proposition from the security aspect alone. And we think the closest thing to what we have is the Cosmos' IBC solution. But on top of that, I think what makes Icon unique is that we are able to bridge between other non-Icon chains without a hard fork. So because everything is run through a smart contract. So, I think that's the second pitch, is that we have, flexibility with the product where, we are not confined to a specific ecosystem. We are able to be bridged to other, blockchain networks, private networks, public networks, because of the fact that wherever there's where it supports smart contract functionalities, like we should be able to support it. Mm-hmm. So I think I will give a, but that will be my kind of second part. Third,
I guess the value proposition there is that essentially it's easier for developers to develop on Icon with BTP perhaps than other blockchains. I think that's
maybe easier is not the, I would say more flexible. You're able to, it's not just you're stuck within the Polkadot ecosystem or stuck within the Cosmos ecosystem.
Right.
You're able to move assets to any ecosystem is what makes, I think Icon, more powerful.
Right.
Yeah. So
we talked about the advantages of using BTP, or the key kind of features, but is there anything else to add in terms of some of the cool things that people can do with BTP? So, beyond the fact that BTP is secure and cost effective and flexible, and I guess maybe I'm thinking about kind of end user use cases. What is a cool thing you can do with BTP that you can't if you're just working on a single kind of enclosed blockchain network?
I mean, that's a very good question. I think it's one of those things that opens up, the doors to basically how far your creativity could go. So it's basically a feature, and you're able to do, what's important is arbitrary contract calls between different chains. So what I'm looking forward to is being able to, vote on certain things, by using the Icon blockchain, but being able to, participate in governance in other blockchains, that on Ethereum or other chains, without actually leaving a Icon wallet, HANA wallet, for example. So, just, I think arbitrary contract call is what makes the user experience, what I believe will enhance the user experience to a level that we haven't seen before. So I think that is something that, we're all sort of dreaming about and thinking about, just, the convenience of, being able to stay in one chain and being able to do
any sort of action on another chain.
Exactly. Like you could even claim staking rewards through different chains without switching wallets, or signing into different, having private keys and signing into different wallet addresses, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So next question. Time frame for launch. Now, we asked Scott this a couple of weeks ago. He wasn't, prepared to commit, and based on what you've said earlier in this discussion, in a sense, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know which issues might crop up in the next week or month that could delay things, et cetera, et cetera. But obviously, everybody does want to know: is there an approximate time frame for full BTP launch, full integration with another blockchain network, etc. Can you give us any indication on that?
Yeah, I mean, what it eventually comes down to is testing, in my opinion, is how much leeway, how much time, how many times do you want to test, you know, the chain and the features. So, you know, I think that's you know, we could launch it sooner or later, and just, you know, it's a lot of it kind of has to also come down to just gut feelings of how prepared you are. Is, you know, if you are walking into you know, your final exam today versus walking into a final exam next week, I mean, do you feel prepared enough today and get it over with, or do you want to study another week? And, you know, if that will give you much more confidence walking into a final exam, if you have that option, then, you know, you might want to push it back a week, right? So it all comes down to, I think, that kind of a, you know, preparedness, I would say. But, you know, in terms of actually building out like the features and, you know, what needs to be there, I think it's almost there. It's, you know, it's more about, you know, just going through that repetitive cycle of like bug testing, fixing, testing, and yeah, we'll see where how we feel, uh, you know, by the end of this month, and we'll see if we will be ready to go in August, early August. It could be end of August. I mean, I think Scott probably did the right thing of not putting like an actual date on it. And I know that the community and everyone might be a bit frustrated because of kind of, you know, these things are moving targets. And, you know, I just want to share that one, it's, you know, I would say if you look at most interoperability solutions that are out there that are, you know, equally or as complicated as what we're building, I think the closest thing is something like Polkadot and Cosmos' IBC, and those guys have been developing, you know, around the same time as us. So it's been taking them, you know, 5+ years or 4+ years in getting it to the level that you know, that you see today. So, you know, I think we're, you know, very close to where they are in terms of, you know, our product. I think people, you know, I've worked with many different, you know, companies in my past building, you know, mobile applications to web applications to, you know, just various different products and features. And, you know, I think one thing that people have to understand is that something like this is so different and so cutting edge that, you know, you can't really compare something like this to launching a DApp or launching an iPhone app. You know, it's just a very different, I guess, it's not even it's a very different technology or very different product, right? It's when you're building an app, like a lot of the technology is already built, it's already there. You're just, you know, putting some creativity and trying to create use cases with something that is already available to you. So you could, you know, you get experienced developers to basically build, and you know, have sort of a deadline, and a lot of the, you know, a lot of the teams, they, you know, stick to just the deadline. Like bugs or no bugs, like who cares? Like you just launch it and you get it to go, and then you know, start fixing bugs as you know, even after you launch. So it's like a very,
right.
You try to want to, you know, you want to get your product out there as soon as possible to get feedback and to iterate and to improve the products, right? But blockchain technology and what we're doing with bridges is like, it's completely different. Like once you get exploited or once there's a hack, like you're done. Like you could be done. I'm not sure if you're done or not, but yeah, it could be, yeah, there's much bigger consequences than a simple application. So, I think you need a lot of patience with, this industry and these type of products. So
yeah, I don't want to pin you down to a certain date. That doesn't make sense based on what you've said, of course. But it does sound like things are moving forward steadily, and it sounds, based on what you said, that the time horizon is relatively short. We're talking about, weeks to months rather than kind of next year or something like that.
Right. And, there's, yeah, with the BTP, the first thing is we just want to, get it ready, test it and launch it. So we're very, very close. And I know that we've been saying that for a bit of time, but, we are actually very close and, we are making progress, and you've seen some of that progress with like Wonder Games. So we're not just sitting here, just, feeding, hopium to everyone. It's really, really close. So we're, it's one of those things like you could smell it, you could feel it, like it's like right in front of you, and you just want to, get it out there, and but that it's like, you could be better prepared. So we're almost there. The other side, what we're doing obviously is, there's a lot to do with public blockchain projects. There's a lot of documentation that needs to go into play that we need to draft and organize. There's a lot of coordination between, different vendors or different tech teams that are integrating and building. And then at the same time, we have researchers always thinking about new and better ways to build things and thinking about the future of the Icon network. So, there's that part. And then, there's also thinking about how to optimize what we built. So how do we lower the cost? How do we make things go faster? How do we, make it better and easier for our users? How do we improve the user experience? Like there's, running a public blockchain project is, it's not just one facet or two facet of things. It's like multi-dimensional team effort across, the globe with different teams, and it's very, very complicated. So, it's something I think our community and everyone who's in this industry should understand. It's easy to kind of just sit in the sidelines and, criticize and, and just yell. It's easy to be a football fan sitting in the, bleacher seats and just yell at the players for not making a play. But, if you're actually playing the game, you understand how difficult it is, right? Sure. I think that's what it is.
Great. Well, thanks very much for joining us again. We've had a good chat about Bridge and BTP, where things are, where they're going, some of the partnerships, etc. I've got some other questions, but we might need to leave those for another day.
Sure.
So,
or you could cut it into 2 parts and like have 2 episodes.
Quite possibly. Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll wrap this one up here. So again, Min, thanks very much for joining us. Really good to catch up with you.
All right. Thank you.
We'll try to get in touch with you again before a year from now.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll certainly keep in touch with the other teams as well on progress of BTP and let people know how things are going on the Iconist. So thanks very much.
Thank you.